Yo ho, it's a breakfast life for me. With the center of today's topic having lost the battle with the nefarious Soggies and sailing out to sea for the last time, we figured it was about time to open the big book of breakfast history and dive deep into a bowl of cereal some of us grew up with. So for our School of Boredom season finale, we hope you'll join us as we examine something that we can assure you most likely did cut the roof of your mouth. And with that, welcome back everybody to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom, showcase of things likely forgotten. My name is Bats, and I hope you'll join me today for our School of Boredom Season 1 finale, Captain Crunch, Lesson 113, Crunch Buries at Sea. Back in 1963, a woman named Pamela Lowe, who worked for the Arthur D. Little International Management Consulting Firm, would develop the original classic Captain Crunch flavor by turning to a recipe that she learned from her grandmother, Luella Lowe. Consisting of brown sugar and butter poured over rice, this recipe would be a simple one that would go on to spawn a breakfast icon.
When Pamela Lowe created the flavor coding for the cereal, she described it as giving the cereal a quality, quote, want more-ishness.
To help development of this new cereal, a man named Robert Roundtree Reinhardt Sr. would develop a technique for the manufacturing process that would use oil for a delivery system of the flavor. However, this process would make baking the cereal a pretty difficult task, meaning the cereal would have problems baking correctly. It is important to note that Captain Crunch cereal was one of the first to use this method. Surprisingly, the Quaker Company already had the marketing plan for Captain Crunch before the cereal was even developed. We aren't sure how often this particular practice took place, but we can only imagine it probably happened a lot. The character they had in mind would be created by none other than the one and only Jay Ward, creator of the iconic Rocky and Bullwinkle show. And the character he would create would become Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch, born on Crunch Island and spending his life sailing through a sea of milk on his ship, the SS Guppy. In his time, Captain Crunch would have his fair share of encounters, whether he was dealing with the hijinks of his nemesis, Captain Jean Lafoot, or later the Soggies. Jean Lafoot would go on to promote his own cereal, Cinnamon Crunch, but that's a story for a later School of Boredom Quickie. However, unlike the info we have on that, Captain Crunch did come with his fair share of merchandise as well. We'll cover that in just a minute. First, let's talk about the different variations that the Captain has had over the years. During the 1980s, the Captain would get a new enemy to test his mettle as a Captain, and these things would be the Soggies. The Soggies were sentient alien white blobs, and their mission? Sogify everything. They would also show up in a ton of the animated commercials. The original flavored cereal would debut in 1963. As we mentioned a moment ago, it had oat corn cereal pieces and a sugary sweet flavor similar to brown sugar and butter. But according to the Captain Crunch Wiki, there were over 30 different flavors, styles, and variations. We're not sure we're going to be able to find proof of each of the variations, but here's a quick rundown of each one. Captain Crunch's Crunch Berries came onto the scene in 1967, and this would add originality. They would put red spherical cereal pieces called Crunch Berries into the originally yellow cereal, and these Crunch Berries would have a rather generic but somehow memorable flavor of berries. Then later on down the line in the 1990s, they would add blue and purple Crunch Berries, while later still in 2002, they would add the final color of Crunch Berry, green. Despite being different colors, all of the Crunch Berries shared the exact same flavor. Although at one point they did attempt to make the Crunch Berries into the shape of a cluster of 3 round berries, connected to look like a bunch. In the end, there were 4 different Crunch Berries, all shaped like spheres. But what can you say? People like tradition.
Along with the Crunch Berries would come a new character in the Captain Crunch canon. We would be introduced to the Crunch Berry Beast, or as he is sometimes called, the Crunch Beast, or even CB, as the Captain was known to call him.
Right you are, discovered on the fictional island of Crunchberry Island by the captain himself while looking for the fabled crunchberry trees. The Crunchberry Beast was a yellow, cutesy, high-energy, hyperactive, monster dinosaur-looking character that had a tuft of frizzy red hair and spots all over his body with a large nose. However, we were unable to determine what color his spots actually were because of the many different images available. Could this mean there's more than one Crunchberry monster? His role in this universe was to consume crunchberries and join the captain's crew aboard the SS Guppy, which would play into the various stories portrayed throughout the animated commercials. Next up, in 1971, the company would introduce Vanilla Crunch, and it was described as having a vanilla birthday cake flavor, and this one has an actual story behind it.
And just like a few of the other styles we will mention, this one also came with a new character to add to the roster.
On a roll, you are correct again, Goat. The story of this serial includes the introduction of a new character named Sea Dog. Apparently, Sea Dog was baking a birthday cake when he accidentally spilled said cake batter into the bowl of Captain Crunch. The captain tried it and liked it so much that he decided to add the flavor officially to his brand for all to enjoy. As a result, Sea Dog would join his crew aboard the SS Guppy. It doesn't end there though, because after a commercial for Vanilla Crunch featured a whale carrying the boxes in her mouth, Wilma the winsome white whale would be seen alongside Sea Dog and would often be seen floating in the waters behind the captain on the box. 1972 would bring two new flavors to the brand, but this is where things get a little weird. Who knew that cereal mascots, especially from way back then, could have such a deep continuity? Anyways, in 1972 we got both the Punch Crunch and Jean Lafoot's Cinnamon Crunch, and as you probably guessed, these would each come with a new mascot to add to the roster. Captain Crunch's Punch Crunch was a fruit punch flavored variation. Only this was styled as pink hoops and was promoted by the captain's friend, a dandy sailor suit-wearing hippo named Harry S. Hippo. Unfortunately, we were unable to find any information on the origin of Harry S. Hippo, but of the few things we did find out, one is that he's very clumsy and accident prone, but he also appears to be an existing member of the captain's crew as seen in the commercials. Around this same time, in 1972, the company would introduce Jean Lafoot's Cinnamon Crunch. This cereal was more like toasted flakes that were coated in cinnamon and sugar, and it would introduce Jean Lafoot as captain's nemesis. As we said, we might do a short school boredom quickie on him later on, but what we will say here is that the hijinks between the captain and Lafoot would go on for several years, as Lafoot was always causing trouble for the captain. And now that we've got the most important ones out of the way, let's discuss the remaining flavors in a speed round. Ready? Let's go. 1982 saw the release of Choco Crunch. It was basically the original Crunchberry recipe, however the berries were replaced by a similarly shaped chocolate-flavored balls and came with its own mascot, Chockle the Blob. In 1987, the captain decided to get festive with Christmas Crunch. This one was true up into the very end and had consistent changes, but at its core the cereal was made of the regular Captain Crunch cereal. The Crunch berries, you guessed it, were red and green. Now this particular promotion would feature the captain donning a Santa outfit and delivering his cereal to kids around the world. In 1993 we would get Deep Sea Crunch. Literally the only difference in this one is that the Crunch berries were shaped like sea creatures, and it was discontinued but did see a short revival in 2009. 1995, fans of baseball would get Captain Crunch's Home Run Crunch. It features marshmallows shaped like baseball-themed items, while the cereal bits were shaped like baseballs and bats. In 1997, they would release Oops All Berries, which you may have guessed consists of nothing but crunch berries. It would last a year before getting pulled, but it would see returns in 2008, 2009, and 2010, off and on from time to time. In 2000, they would explode into markets with Captain Crunch's Mystery Volcano Crunch. It featured fruit-flavored crunch berries and a packet of lava rocks you could add to your cereal, but those would turn out to be nothing more than Pop Rocks candy. Also in the year 2000, we would get Cosmic Crunch, which had space-themed marshmallows, but it would soon be discontinued. Due to the release of the 2001 Nickelodeon movie, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, the captain would join forces with the Boy Genius to make Neutron Crunch. This one had crunch berries shaped like Jimmy, Goddard, Cindy, and Jimmy's Rocket. Another Nickelodeon tie-in for the cereal would be because of the Rugrats Go Wild movie in 2003. With Rugrats Go Wild Berries, this one was similar to the Jimmy Neutron version, only the shapes were in the form of characters from the movie that would change colors when milk was added, and this cereal would turn your milk blue as well.
The Rugrats Go Wild Berries were primarily distributed through Walmart stores, albeit the release was very limited.
In 2003, they would come up with Captain Crunch's Oops Choco Donuts. This one would be made up of chocolate hoops that were covered in sprinkles. In 2007, we would get one of our personal favorites, Halloween Crunch. This Halloween version features green crunch berries shaped like ghosts and makes comebacks every so often. Now that we got the bigger ones out of the way, there were a whole bunch of littler ones, so let's go to the even speedier route. There was also Polar Crunch, Superman Crunch, Cinnamon Roll Crunch, Captain Crunch's Crunch Treasures, Airhead Berries, Orange Cream Pop Crunch, Blueberry Pancake Crunch, Chocolatey Berry Crunch, Strawberry Shortcake Crunch, Captain Crunch's Red, White, and Blue Crunch, aka Hero or Freedom Crunch, and Cotton Candy Crunch. There have been several other products based on the popular cereal, including breakfast cereal bars, and even a Taco Bell promotion where they would make these hot cereal dessert balls that were coated in smashed up Captain Crunch cereal. Which personally I think sounds terrible, but let us know what you think in the comments section below. As of 2021, and as far as we were able to find out, Captain Crunch has been discontinued officially. However, he still can live in our hearts through the magic of memorabilia. There are a ton of items, both new and old, out there related to this product. You will find a handful of Funko Pop characters, Pez dispensers, shirts, keychains, and even action figures, not to mention the always fun toys that used to be inside the box.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't we make a video about that very topic?
You know, we did, and I suppose they're waiting for us to tell them that there's a link in the description. And at one point, there was even a video game called Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure. If you'd like us to do a short quickie about the game you're looking at now, let us know in the comments section below, along with any other topics you'd like us to cover in the future. We look forward to hearing from you. We make a ton of videos about a ton of different topics, so let us know what interests you. And if you like our videos, please consider clicking like and subscribe and turning on notifications. It really helps us out a ton, and you'll be sure to see all of our weird, creepy, odd, strange, or eccentric content as soon as it comes out. And with that, we've come to the end of this School of Boredom lesson and Season 1. Woo! So be sure to check back next time and come back for Season 2. Even we don't know what we have in store, but we're looking forward to sharing it with you. I've been your host, Bats, and this has been the Macabre'Gorium Labs School of Boredom Showcase of Things Likely Forgotten, Season 1 Finale, Lesson 113, Captain Crunch, Captain's Burial at Sea. Be sure to check back next time. You never know what we have in store. As usual, think for yourselves. Be excellent to each other. And keep it creepy. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.